Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. So today we're going to be having another civilization guide for AoE4. We've got the Mongols today, and as you guys may or may not know, I'm going through all 8 civilizations from the top to the bottom. Today we're on Mongols, and the strategy I'm going to showcase, and I thought long and hard about this, I think I'm going to showcase the archers into lancer strategy. However, it's a little bit more complex with that with the Mongols. So the deer stones gives access to the Yam network, which makes your archers move faster when they're around deer stones landmark or any tower. So the way to go about this is to use your archers as a really good defensive tool in combination with your towers, so you basically can guaranteed not take any damage in the early game, and then we're going to simply develop our economy to go up to the castle age, and we're going to be totally fine to spam some lancers. And as you guys may or may not know, the archer lancer composition or archer knight composition is very strong with all civilizations. So if you can find yourself with a strategy getting to that, you'll be good to counter pretty much anything except like maybe mass siege weapons, but even the knights do pretty well against siege anyways. Alright, so let's hop into this one and see what we can do here against the easy AI. But of course, the goal isn't for me to showcase how to win online games. The goal for this one is really just to focus on the builder and just how to develop with the civilization. This guide is good for beginners, for intermediate players, and even for high-level players, by the way. I use the same builds at the top of the ladder, and they consistently work, and Mongols are a really strong civilization here. Before I start out, just gonna quickly tell you guys that the Mongol Start is very difficult. What you want to do is use your town center on wood as fast as possible, send all the villagers on wood as well to chop some trees initially, then bring your sheep towards that town center, depending on the spot you picked, and use one of your villagers out of the starting 6 to make an ovu. You have to do that immediately. We're also going to fire a signal arrow with our Khan to speed up our units. Let's do it. Alright, so use the signal arrow, TC, vills on wood, and we're going to go to our ovu. There we go. I just did everything I said in like, what is that, 5 seconds? You should be able to do something similar with good practice. Now with our Khan, we're going to go ahead and just look for some sheep. And with our town center, we're going to go ahead and take some good sheep. Alright, what's going to be important here to note is we're going to go for some early pasture near the ovu. There's a lot of options you can do with Mongols. I'm not going to lie to you guys. They have a ton of different openings. I'm just going to wait around with this villager right now. It's okay to have like 10-second idle time. It's going to be worth it. There's a lot of openings you can do with the Mongols, but this one feels like the most consistent. So you go 5 to wood early, then you go to food. I'm going to go ahead and make a pasture near the ovu. Pastures near the ovu produce sheep faster, so it's actually very beneficial to get that going. And this makes your early game so consistent, so incredibly consistent, because you don't need to find a lot of sheep. You have the pastures getting you the sheep for you, and the pasture near the ovu in the early game will stockpile a lot of sheep. After you get the wood for the pasture, you can slowly start to trickle the wood villagers off of the wood and onto the food now, but keep a few on wood because you're going to need to get a jur on the gold as soon as you can as well. Alright, so that's the ovu, that's the pasture. We're going to put the put the gather point or the rally point straight to the TC, and of course, now just take nothing but sheep for a while, and use your Khan to scout for more sheep, of course. Now the pasture near the ovu produces sheep every 1 minute and 20 seconds. If it was near not the ovu, it just produces 1 sheep every 2 minutes. So you're getting 1 sheep every 40 seconds quicker than if you had it placed randomly. So very important to do that. Alright, continuously taking those off of wood here. Let's keep 2 there, just because it's good to have a little bit of stockpile wood in case you need to make a tower, or in case, you know, something comes up. But we'll use that to make archers in the feudal age anyways. 9 on food is a little much. We're going to stick with 8 on food only, and I'm going to go straight to the gold with 4 villagers. Use your sheep, or use your Khan to find sheep and send them right back to the town center. Pasture will continue producing as well. That's a fantastic opening. Alright, so now with the Khan, we're going to scout the map, look for more sheep, look for your opponents, and all that good stuff. Feel free to use the special abilities with the Khan to speed up the scouting process, like for example the maneuver arrow or the scouting falcon. So if you want to move faster, you just go ahead and cycle out that signal arrow. It has a cooldown, of course. And if you want to maintain vision of an area, like let's say you want to see if your opponent will attack you, or if your opponent will make a barracks in the early game, or if your opponent will go to gold at what time, you can use the scouting falcon to help you out. It also helps you find vision in dark forest. Let's say you're scared of your opponent being there. Use the falcon and it gives you instant vision. That's an amazing trick with the Mongols, not just for the early game, but even for the mid game. And I'm glad I had the time to show it to you guys. Alright, so 4 bills to gold, and now the rest will go straight to the food again. Okay. That's good. Don't do that. Do not run into your opponent's TC. But if you do, it's fine because the Khan will respawn in 2 minutes anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Alright. Go around with your Khan now, all that good stuff. And we'll be clicking up with the gold villagers. I'm going to play ultra defensively in this one because I want to showcase just how strong the Mongols are. You actually don't need to do damage in the early game with them. They are a great civilization in the early game, but they're like completely overpowered at the moment when this video is being made. Hopefully they'll get patched in the future. Let's go deer stones. And then now send those to your wood. From your town center to your wood. They're like completely like ridiculously strong, so I hope they get patched. But we're gonna play a super defensive build, so get deer stones. We're gonna get a tower on the gold. So in this case, it's very close to my town center. You probably don't need it. But let's say your gold is a bit further out. We're gonna get a tower just to show you what that build looks like. You can do that every single game. All right. At this point, we want to invest either into another pasture or look for a safe deer patch. I've got deer patches in the back, or a deer patch in the back right now, so I can probably take that. I'd prefer taking a deer patch than going for another pasture from this position. Alright, let's bring the sheep back with the Khan. One thing I will mention, by the way, is like the best thing that the Mongols have is probably their tier 3 Khan, or the H3 Khan. That guy's absolutely crazy. That's why with this build, we're trying to get to the H3 as fast as possible, because using the Khan in H3 is just like super strong. It has 12 attack, a ton of range, and 300 hit points. It's so hard to deal with. So that's going to be one of the main tools to use and to abuse even in your games. Alright, let's bring the sheep back. And of course, I'm constantly making sheep from the pasture as well. So like I'm always in a good position here. Even if I don't find that many sheep. Don't worry about that too much. Alright, as soon as you go up to the next age, we're going to make a blacksmith and an archer range as soon as we can. And we're going to move both of them close to the Ovu. Keep the deer stones near your economy because it makes your villagers move faster. At this point, we might get attacked. Let's make a tower on the gold. That gives you a lot of vision, and that also gives you a ton of protection. You can also get the emplacements using the stone you have built up from the Ovu. Alright, with your Khan now, continue to scout your opponent's base. And the reason we're putting the blacksmith there as well is because if we want to get siege engineering, we want to get the upgraded one to be able to get siege weapons, or to be able to build siege weapons using our archers. At this point, we're going to get wheelbarrow and rally bills to gold at this point. Once you have a good amount of food and wood economy, because that food wood will simply be able to get you good archer production. And we're going to invest all the stone on getting ×2 archers. If you need it, you get arrow slits on your tower. If you don't, you don't. We're going to get steeled arrow as soon as possible as well. Right after wheelbarrow, pretty much. Alright, continue to use your Khan to harass our opponents. You can even kill sheep, by the way. It's a cool little strategy. If your opponent has a scout there, you can use your Khan to snipe their sheep. There we go. It's like really cheesy, but it helps out a lot. Alright. And now we're going to reposition our deer stones to help with the defense. Keep it around your villagers to help like boost them up. Obviously, your tower is boosting these villagers, so your deer stones can help boost these villas. And you're going to continue just making ×2 archers. Now, I'm going to defend with them at first because you don't know what your opponent's going to attack you with. But if your opponent isn't attacking you, you have to attack them with your archers. But mass them at first a little bit at home just to kind of play safe. You're playing a really strong civilization. You don't need to rush this. You just want to play safe and make sure you don't take damage at home. At this point, let's just get arrow slits just in case. It costs 50 stone and 25 gold, and the stone we're getting for free anyway, so just get it. Why not? It's such a good upgrade for the tower. Alright, let's go back to take some more sheep, and we're also going to go ahead and take some deer now as well, if needed. I don't know if that's actually needed, to be honest. Like, I don't even think we'll need that, but yeah, it is an option. Maybe from the wood villagers, because we have a lot of wood. Yeah, let's take some deer with the wood villagers. Alright, now I have a really good amount of archers. I've got steeled arrows so fast, and I can just go attack my opponent now with like such an amazing army. With very little investment. We're saving for the castle age now as well. So you can see just how crazy the civilization is right now. Like it's super strong. This opening is fantastic. You can move out across the map. You have faster archers with the Yam network. And even when that runs out, you still have the Khan that could speed them up or give them better attack speed for 5 seconds, which is also pretty huge for the battles. Feel free at this point, if your opponent has a lot of longbows, maybe he's playing as the English, feel free to mix in some horsemen if needed. But usually just the Yam network boosted archers are good enough to clear any pressure that comes your way. If your opponent is playing with the French and he has a lot of knights, make some spears, no problem. You'll be fine. Alright, let's put the pressure with the archers now. And of course, constantly keeping them near my Khan, because my Khan can buff them. If he needs a speed boost, go for the speed boost, chase down the scouts, and then you can dip again. Oh, I messed up. That's fine. We're Mongols. We don't need to kill the scout. We're chilling. Alright. Getting really close to the next age now as well, which is, again, part of the plan. We want to end up with lancers and archers. And of course, I've got constant food, because I've got the... let's go for the steppe. Not gonna use the wood villagers though. Let's use food villagers. It really is good to use food villagers. It's okay to float a lot of gold. We're gonna use the gold villagers now to make stables, and we're gonna move the stables, or at least one of them, closer to Ovu now. All right, let's say we traded off the archers or whatnot. If you have some left over for Castle Age, it's all the better. We're trying to conserve those. If you're forced to trade them off, you can just make more, no problem. Keep yourself as safe as possible. The aggression will come in on Castle Age. Once you make the steppe, you're gonna move the steppe right over to the gold you're taking and move the jur elsewhere. I like to put it on a berry patch if possible, or another woodline. It doesn't really matter where you put it, as long as you're putting it not on that gold, because the steppe gets you much better gold production. It's actually really, really strong. The steppe is really, really strong. Okay, keeping my archers alive, of course. Let's go 3 stables. We can afford it, you go 3 stables. It's a big transition, but you should be able to afford it as the Mongols. You have a ton of food and a ton of gold. I'm bringing the sheep back. Ovu's the pasture's constantly producing sheep as well, which is fantastic. Let's move the stable close to the Ovu now as well. And we're up to the Castle Age, so we can start making the Lancers now. And if you have an Archer mass, upgrade them using Veteran Archer, and you want to also pick up the Balanced Projectiles or the Siege Engineering Improved to make Siege, based on what you need. So in this case, I'll just go for the Lancers. And then the village should rally onto food or wood now. You don't need any gold after you have the steppe moved over. Alright, now you got that stable. You can produce double units. Double Lancers is like so strong, it's insane. And you're gonna get Balanced Projectiles here. And we're gonna move that jur now in a second. And we'll put it on this woodline, I guess. And once the steppe goes down, we should be good to go. There we go. And you're good. Reposition those guys, and you're totally fine. And that's going to be a good amount of gold for the rest of the game, pretty much. So now, you've got your archers, you've got your lancers, you've got your Khan. Now is the time to put pressure. Now we want to attack our opponents. If he attacks us, we put towers everywhere. If you're scared here, you make a tower. They're so cheap. 70 wood. And you can make the emplacements on them quite nicely as well. So you just continue producing your units and double produce lancers as soon as you can afford it with the stone and with the gold cost, of course. And there you go. You're good to go. So why no Mangadai? The reason Mangadai aren't the best unit, to be honest, they're not bad. Like they're solid. But the reason why they're not the best unit is that they're very expensive and they only work really well in mass. They're also very low range. So they're a good raiding unit, but they're not very, very good because of the range. I prefer to just play with the archers left over and play with lancers to just oppress your opponent in the early Castle Age. And from this position, you just spam lancers and you can continue to develop at home. As far as things to do from this position, I recommend you continue putting the pressure. Maybe pick up some sacred sites because you're Mongols. Get towers across the map as well. It's really good. Small investment. You get a lot of vision. Towers everywhere for the Yam network. And you can continue going for a late game. I'd recommend getting more pastures around the map as well. Just because if, at this point you have more villagers, your one pasture will start to run out. Or start to be not producing fast enough. So you get more pastures to be able to produce more sheep for your town center. And you just continue developing as such. You've got a great composition and a great setup at home. So that's going to be it for the Mongols for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next one where we'll cover a different civilization. Peace.